Hey everyone, Dr. Frunkey here with a really exciting unboxing video. I've had a lot of new knives come through here lately. One of them is this knife, the Peter Rassenti Satori. I was thrilled to get this knife in my hands. I have had a Nirvana for a very long time. If you follow my channel, you may know that Nirvana was tragically lost to New York City recently and will never be seen again. And before I ever lost that knife, I knew that I wanted one of his new models. I knew I wanted a Satori. I had seen him, developing this knife. He showed some pictures on his Instagram, and immediately I knew it was going to be really, really awesome. And just look at it. It is a much more aggressive and tactical overall knife, but it is very, very nice. And of course, it incorporates his characteristic integral handle here. So this is a knife that belongs to my good buddy Nico at today'sgrail_tomorrow's_beater. You can follow him on Instagram. He's got a great account and a great collection of knives that he shares with me, and he'll share with everyone through those pictures. But this is his knife. Peter was offering this up for sale on his Instagram, and my buddy Nico jumped on it. This one is a beautiful example. It's got the milled lines in the handle. It's got the fuller on the blade, a two-finish blade, and the full thickness frame here. Some titanium hardware up there and on the clip. So I had spoken to Peter some time ago about wanting a Satori, and I had kind of given him an idea of what I wanted. Something that was going to be similar to my Nirvana. If you'll recall, that one was a little bit, I had the contoured frame and it had a relatively plain finish. That one also had a two-tone finish on it. I really wish that I had it here. Unfortunately, I don't. So I'm going to move this guy out of the way for just a minute, and I'm going to bring in a box. So in an unboxing, at least you should open a box. This is the Peter Rassenti box that he sends to you. When you see that logo, you know it's going to be a good day. So I'm not going to show you the back. He typically writes the description on the back, but the back is inaccurate right now, so I will just describe it to you. And this is how the knife comes, wrapped in some plastic padding. And here is my knife, and this is how it is revealed to you when you get it. This is my personal Peter Rassenti Satori. This is very, very similar to my Nirvana. If you'll recall, it had the contoured frame, it had the mirror wash on the blade, and it was a very user-friendly finish. I really enjoyed that. I carried it a lot. It never showed anywhere, and so I told Peter that I wanted to replicate most of the characteristics of that knife, maybe with a little bit something special. And he has totally executed that on this knife. Up front, we have a full mirror stonewash CPM 154 blade. I apologize. The bright mirror finish on this is really going to cause a lot of havoc with the camera. But it is mirror finished, and then it is stonewashed. You might be able to see my arm there. It is absolutely gorgeous. I knew that I wanted a full mirror wash finish. I love the way it looked on my Nirvana, but the Nirvana had sort of the acid-etched flats, and so I knew that I wanted to have the full mirror wash this time because I love the way that looks. It's got a nice forward sharpening / finger choil. I call it a finger choil because you can really almost fit your hand comfortably in there without cutting it. I can actually squeeze down really hard on this, and I'm not hurting my finger in any way up front. So it actually does function as a forward finger choil, although it is very minimalistic there. It does function that way. It is clearly a flipper. Look how smooth that is. So great flipping action. I have two examples of this knife now. I'm going to go ahead and put them both on the screen together so you can see them together. And the subtle differences in their finishes. So you can see the overall profile is the same, but there are some major differences, and here you can kind of understand what some of the options might be that are available. So I've got a mirror wash blade. This is a two-tone blade with satin flats and a dark acid-etched and stone-washed primary bevel and swedge. This one also has that darkened fuller. The fuller is an interesting option because, as I've learned through carrying this, that you can take your finger and open the knife like that. And so for those who are really fond of flicking the knife open like that, that fuller really allows you to do that, and it's really, really nice. So again, opening it up like that. This one had titanium hardware. This one has a G10 pivot collar It has the milled lines here. It's got the full-size frame and a titanium clip. Mine has the CPM 154 blade I talked about. It's got zirconium hardware. He'll do zirconium, he'll do Damascus, he'll do Damascus, Damasteel, whatever you want. This has the contoured frame. I'll go ahead and close these knives, and I'll get them together here so we can compare what that looks like here. So the contoured frame has a lot of material that's been shaved off of it there. It's a little bit more ergonomic. It's a little bit sleeker and slimmer in profile. I loved that about the Nirvana. It fit in the pocket so nicely. It fit in the hand so nicely. And this one is no different. It's got a little bit more of a ridge right here, but if you look and see where your fingers fall when you're holding the knife, your index finger falls right on that ridge right there. And this ridge falls perfectly into the fat of your hand, and it gives you an extra bit of grip that's really, really nice. Even though this finish is relatively smooth, you've got a very positive grip because the frame actually physically bulges in your hand, and you're not going to let go of that thing very easily. It's not ideal for the Vaseline factory, but you know, neither of these knives really are. But I'm just commenting on that part of the finish. Really, really nice knife. So you can see the different variations that you could possibly achieve when you talk to him. I wanted a very user-friendly finish. He's done my frame in a bright stonewash, but he's also done what's called a wire wheel finish. It gives it this depth. It's like it's a very interesting thing. It's difficult to capture on camera, but it goes all the way around. This wire wheel finish is very user-friendly. It doesn't really show wear, but it's also very smooth, even though it has the appearance of being a little bit rough. It's not. He's managed to, let's see if I can get, oh, I knocked the camera. I'll see if I can get it to focus. He's also achieved that finish on the zirconium clip. Let's see if we can show that here close up like that. I don't know if that's going to come through on the camera because of the bright blade there. But I'm so glad that I was able to get this knife. I'm very thankful to him. He did watch my video on my Nirvana and the knife, you know, the knife that I managed to lose. And he said that he would make it right. And he did reach out to me when the build became available. And I'm so thankful to him for doing that. This is an absolutely stunningly beautiful knife. Very difficult to capture on camera, the complexities of that mirror wash blade. Just beautiful. If you're thinking about getting a Satori, there's one more point that I wanted to discuss, and that is a little custom touch that I had done to this knife over the standard knife. So I had been using the standard model here for a couple of weeks. I did an unboxing, and then I've just kind of been enjoying it around the house. I've carried it a couple of times and used it extremely, extremely lightly just to see how it cut things like paper. But when you're using this knife, you are flipping it all the time. It really only either opens with the flick or with the flipper. And so when you use this knife throughout the course of the day, you may come to notice something about the flipper tab. It's a little bit sharp. I hate to say that right off the bat here. Peter's work is beautiful and it's wonderful, but the edges on that flipper tab are just the slightest bit sharp if you catch it in the wrong place after flipping it all day and you're trying to go fast. So I asked him to do something special on mine. And let me see if I can get this to focus here. This is the rounded off flipper tab. So I asked him to make it just a little bit softer for my little soft hands, my soft surgeon hands, and it has really changed the character of the knife. This is now a very comfortable, very, very usable, everyday carry kind of a knife. And it is just beautiful. I mean, it is all the beauty of the Satori in the most possible user finish you can imagine, and I'm going to carry the heck out of this knife. I absolutely enjoy it. If you're thinking about picking one of these up, consider some of the options that you see in front of you. Go to his Instagram and check them out. He'll do so many different things. He made a full Damascus framed Satori for the Blade Show, and it was absolutely out of control. In any case, guys, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for looking at these knives together. I will definitely get a full diagnosis, a final diagnosis on this knife a few weeks down the road from here. It is absolutely incredible. I love Peter Rassenti's work. Hopefully one day soon I'll get a new Nirvana as well. Well, thanks for watching, guys. As always, this is Dr. Frunkey saying take care.